sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording... Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may...
Hey, who do you talk to? What's going on? It's me, Michael King. Michael, this is legit. Oh, hold on. I can do all of this all at once by myself. Watch. Hold on. It's legit. Paranormal 101. Brought to you by legitpodcast.com. This is a show. Joining me as always, Sarah Parah Normal. How are you, Sarah?
This is a show, I guess. It's a show. Here we are. I don't have a lot of hope that this is going to go any better than the last one.
I think we'll be all right. All right. Joining us, Block Island Rick Lysik. Rick, how are you tonight?
Haven't seen you. I am doing wonderful. Lots of laughs here tonight. How are you guys?
Rick, how are we? I apologize for sending you the late invite for this because I've been laughing the whole time that she fell for that and was that terrified of it. And that dude, I was trying to tell her that if we clip that, those people stuck in one of the funniest clips I've ever seen because she really was like freaked with the on her computer. She wouldn't believe me. Rick,
you saw me. I couldn't talk for like the next 5 minutes because I was laughing.
Yeah, it was a good time. Hey,
I'm glad you had a good time. I'm still having an anxiety attack, but sure, okay. Now I got to talk about serious stuff.
Yeah, I know, but you know what?
Oh, we can recap that if you like.
That builds character. That's what my dad would tell me if after that just happened. He'd be like, you know what, Joe? That builds character because it does. Every time you get those are the type of things that what?
It just taught me not to trust you, Michael.
Oh wow. Well, you don't have things like that have happened to you that you shout out while you're showering. Like you're just showering, you're like, "Bah!" because you remember like a moment you like screwed up or did something wrong. It was something you've never shouted out your problems.
Shower shouts.
Yeah, shower. I call them just shower shouts, I guess.
It's like more wailing it's like shower wailing. But
no, Rick, that's not what we're talking about. Rick, are you with me when you mean like you'd be like, it's almost like part of a sentence. You're like,
why'd I do that? Dumb Rick.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. I'm not thinking dumb Rick. I'm thinking dumb Mike because it's me. See, yeah, but that's exactly not wailing. Wailing's a different.
Yeah, not in the shower with the bar of soap, like trying to wash it all away.
Yeah. Well, if you get the soap in your eye, you're gonna cry.
Well, there you go.
All right. Where are we starting? Paragraph from the handbook.
Where are we? I can't see this. I can't see anything.
Here's the thing: we can do conducting interviews. Would you like to start with that tonight?
What's before that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't. It doesn't matter. Let's start with conducting interviews.
I'm gonna pull up the handbook in front of me because I cannot see.
I'm gonna read what it says. A. Establishing a framework where the reported phenomena. Where the reported phenomena. Phenomena. Are extended over a period of time, it is important to organize a small number of capable and responsible investigators. It should be decided beforehand what course of action to follow should phenomena. Phenomena.
All right.
I do it the whole time. Take place and agreed who is to take charge in the event of unforeseen contingencies. The framework of the investigation should be established and agreed with the experience prior to the commencement of the investigation.
I can't can't.
Sarah, I'd like to give a shout out to your editor.
My face, like is it say experience or experiencer?
It says experience. It sounds like it's the company that does your credit check.
It should be experiencer with an R on the end.
Write this down. You get a pen. EXP ER, right? And then IENTS. What's that word? Experience, I guess. A lot of years experience.
I can't.
Rick, how would you say that? What is that supposed to be? Experts?
What page are you on? What page?
Rick, what is that word? The framework of the investigation should be established and agreed with the EXPERIENTS.
Experience.
What?
Experience.
Mike, what page are you on? I swear to God.
Conducting interviews.
Is that a word? Because it's underlined in blue on top of it all, which would make me think that that's like the actual
experience. Mike.
This isn't a word. This is not a word. I think that's what the blue line means.
The blue line is grammar. Red is not a word.
Oh, my bad. So maybe this is saying this grammar is so bad it doesn't make sense. What? No, really. I could be
experience.
Welcome to our new podcast, Word Document 101.
What is it?
It's experience. The people who are experiencing.
Oh, somebody got out of the thesaurus on this one. Jeez Louise. There's no need for that word. You don't got to go to even the computer thought it was like a bit much with the blue line. Right?
That's not the point. The point is it's a word. It's used correctly in the sentence. So that's what that's.
I'm sorry. I'll hold up my little finger when I flip the pages, and I'll just drink tea like this with experience. Prior to the commencement of the investigation, keeping records. You want to stop there? All right. Establishing a framework. What does that mean, Sarah, as far as a new investigator? What do you mean by that with an interview? What type of framework are we talking?
So by establishing a framework, it's just like a lot of words, which just basically means the experience, those people are going to be your clients. Those are the people who are experiencing the phenomenon.
All right. We're good.
And before even beginning, expectations should be set up beforehand, so that they understand what to expect during the process, and so that you can sort of start to gauge what course of action you're going to take next as far as the interviewing goes. So, do you need to, can you do a video interview? Can you do it over the phone? Do you need to see the property? Do you need to visually see it? Can you do that over Zoom? Do you have to go there? It really depends on sort of that initial call that comes in. You're going to try and get as much information as possible. And that might kind of seem like an interview, but it's just kind of setting up how the next step is going to go.
Can I say that I would disagree with anything but an in-home visit? Like, in other words, if there's energy within the house, I can't foresee being able to not have to be in the house to really figure out what's going on in the house.
Like, I think what she's saying is that
call is going to take place of that. Rick?
I think what she's saying is there's that first initial contact, you get off the phone, you mull it over, and then before you actually show up at that place, you're going to want to know what you want to bring, what you want to do, what you're going to be getting into.
And I'm with that, but I'm still saying that initial visit.
Oh, it will change when you get there. You know what I mean? I'm sure things change when you get there, but a general outline.
What I'm saying is,
I don't know, Sarah. Why don't you tell me?
Sorry, what I'm saying is it's not safe to just go to someone's house when they ask for an investigation. But what I'm trying to say is, I guess, the earlier you are there within the environment, I would think the better you're going to get a gauge for what you're dealing with.
Right. So what typically would happen is the call comes in on the ghost phone. You get this information, you kind of set it up. Then you're going to set up another probably call to do a formal interview before you go. And that's not so much to gauge what's going on in the home, but you need to gauge the person that's calling you. So the initial call comes in, you get pertinent information, you run a background check of every adult living in the house. And then
do they have to consent to a background check?
We tell them, we're going to run a background check. I mean, it's a very sort of like, it's not an official one. You know what I mean? That someone would have to consent to, but it's enough for me to know if like you have a history of violence.
So you're not technically doing a background check because that's a term that you want to use. You're doing your due diligence.
Okay. Our due diligence then.
Thank you. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That's different. There's a difference. You use that.
Right.
There you go. We're good.
So of every adult in the house, you're going to get that information. You're going to grab maybe a little bit of history, and then you're going to call back and set up a formal interview where you start to gauge the person, because at this point, you don't even know if this is a case that's worth going out to. Right?
Now, by worth, what do you mean by worth?
So there are several factors. One being, okay, so let's start with just things that are no-goes. Like we're not gonna show up to the person's house. There seems like there is a history of instability to the point where it'd be unsafe for the investigators to go, which we've talked about many times on the shows with mental health and things of that such. But it's not that we don't want to help. It's just it's probably might not be safe for us to go there. The accounts are not recent or frequent enough. So if somebody calls you and they said, I had a dish fly off the shelf and break once a year ago, you can't investigate that. It's not happening anymore. And it only happened once. It could just be a fluke. So
let me figure this out. The two things you just said was, one, if someone is, in your opinion, they need more help than what you can provide.
Right.
It's your choice whether or not, as an investigator, to decide, I'm not going to do this. It has nothing to do with the fact you don't want to help. It's that you decide for your own safety that that's just not something I'm going to go do. Right? That's the decision made. The second one, repeat the second one again really quick.
The second one is, in order to investigate a case, the occurrences have to be frequent and recent.
So that person, right? That's literally, and Rick, I think you'd agree with this. If someone calls you up, right, Rick, and you're doing like the paranormal hotline where you got to write down things that are going on, like, and help people out. And I call you up and I'm like, hey, I had a dish that flew off my shelf last year. Rick, you'd go, all right, well, call me if it happens again. Right?
Exactly.
Basically.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, would you take that one? No, that's come on, man. Why would you want me to? What? So
why waste both our times?
It's like, I had one in my house too. What do you want? A cookie? What do you want? What do you want? You want a ribbon? Like, I don't know what I would. Like, what do you want? What do you want? Right? By the way, what's funny is I hope Rick appreciates that. Wouldn't you? What do you want? A cookie is a basketball term from the Rhode Island area that goes way back. It was how you would make somebody mad, like if they was a foul and they wanted to call. What do you want? A cookie?
I feel like we said that all the time in Buffalo.
That's because you rip off everything we do down here in this area, Buffalo. That's what Buffalo is. Your colors, they ripped off the Patriots who ripped off the Giants. It's like you guys aren't even you're like the God, help me with like a really bad. You're not Backstreet Boys. You're not in sync. You're not even like 98 Degrees. You're like,
shit.
Yeah, you're like down to like, give me one. Like, what's the one with the just the three guys that give me any other subpar pop band below 98 degrees. Come on, there's a bunch of them. Come on, help me out now. There was the O-Town. Bang.
All right, there
Buffalo
you
is the O-Town to like
Oh
the
my
Giants and
God.
Patriots. Just so we
Okay.
get that set straight. You guys stop it now. Rick, let the intelligent minds of football speak further.
go. What do you want, a cookie?
What do you want, a cookie? Sarah, honestly. So the second one's to give me. The first one, that's play it as you go, right? That's your own decision type, your own discretion, right?
Right.
Okay. So
Right.
once you pass that phase and you think that maybe it is something that's making sense, maybe these people, are being just legitimately scared by something or something's happening, and are you looking for something that you'll find more fun to investigate? And don't get me wrong yet. Or something that's more going to help someone, or something that's a little both? Like what type of case makes you go, all right, let's go do that one?
If it's a legitimate case and we can help, we'll go. It doesn't really matter if it's going to be fun or not. Most of the times, most of the occurrences can be explained with, rational, normal explanations. So that's kind of the next question in the interview, is you're trying to gauge if they are open to accepting that what they're experiencing is not paranormal. Because if they're unwilling to accept any explanation other than this is a ghost, there's no point. Because
how do you get that out of them, though? How do you get that question across? Do you actually just say that?
You ask them, flat out. Yep. We explain to them. I start by explaining, okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check environmental factors, and I'll even explain some of them to them and other things that might be causing this.
But hear me out for 1 second.
Yeah.
If I'm somebody that's at that level where I'm not going to hear any other answer other than it's this ghost, because that's what I've been living with for the last 2 years, and you ask me that question, what do you think I'm going to say?
You're going to say, oh, I definitely know it's a ghost.
No, I'll go. Now, if you said to me, do we agree that if it's you'll accept it?
You'd go, yeah, whatever, just to get them out there. And yeah, that happens.
So you're aware of that, though, right? That if they're locked on something, you saying that question, they're going to go, yeah, of course. Like, as if like you're saying, like, if you lose, you're going to get, and they're going, I can't lose, because in their heads, this is happening. So
okay, so what we'll try to do then is I'll try and sneak it in other ways. So they'll say, I am seeing a shadow person out of the corner of my eye. Things that can cause that are low and high frequency sound. So you ask, oh, is there, running water? Like are you living close to a river or something with flowing? Like all these things can cause the viscous matter in your eyeball to vibrate, which causes us to see shadow people out of the corner of our eyes. So you just start to ask questions like that so that you kind of know and you can kind of gauge if possibly it's an environmental factor, and then you get the answers out of them that way. Because if you tell them, oh no, well, that can definitely be caused by this stream of water that's running underneath your house, they'll go, oh, no, there's no water, there's no high tension wires, there's no this, that, or the other thing. So you kind of,
Rick, let me ask you this. On Block Island, which is like a community that most people just have no idea. It's just so different than the rest of the world. Say you get a call from a house and they're telling you that they're hearing knocking or some sort of voices. Would you first start with who is it, whose house, like that area? Is that how you would go?
Well, I know who it is most of the time who would be calling me. But because, like I said, because like you said, it is a small community and we all know each other. I would go no matter what.
you know everyone.
You know what the problem is? You'd have to go. No offense. Like in other words, if Ghost Rick goes, nah, I'm not coming by. That's gonna. You know how small it is. You offend one guy like that. You don't want to. It's not worth it, right?
Offend one, you offend them all.
Yeah.
That's all right.
See, there's such what I find great about you investigators is the difference of like your location. What it's just so much different for people that do like homes. First off, only
Mhm.
want to do like non-residentials, right? And then you get rare cases where like you're on an island and there's a bunch of people, islanders, we'll call them, because they live there around here, and you have this ghost guy that lives there. And you would think, right, that Rick, you should almost be like your own like Netflix series, right? Hear me out. You're a ghost investigator on Block Island, which is what you are. But there's all kinds of things that happen just on the island, the isolated island. We ended with the ship burning in the light, the whatever they're called, those lights. You know what I'm saying?
Palestine.
You know
Yeah.
the law. You can do all that stuff. We do a Netflix series. We take every bit of your tour. We make those each episodes. Rick, you go through all the houses, you fix all these things, you fight the whole thing off in Block Island, and at the end, for some reason, maybe it's just me, I want you to like rip your shirt open and just pose like a harlequin, almost like the guy
of
that
every episode.
I can't believe it's not butter.
All the
Fabio.
Renbacher.
You'd be like the brunette Fabio. I want to end it with that shot. I'll call that the champion shot, and we'll fade.
Yeah. For those who like fat guys and ghosts, I'm right up your alley.
Yeah.
But anyways, I can't keep up with you guys tonight. Usually I can hang, but tonight, Mike, you threw me off so badly in the last show.
Let me tell you what I can't.
That I'm just silent, and I'm never silent.
Do you want to know the truth? I can't
What?
believe you don't know who Paulie is.
I don't.
It hurts that you don't know who Paulie from Rocky.
Hurts.
Well, she doesn't know Paulie from Goodfellas either.
It's
that.
But he's like a very limited character in that movie as far as Paulie didn't say much.
I watched Goodfellas.
He didn't need to.
He didn't have to.
I watched Goodfellas for the first time with my 15-year-old. He's like, "Why the hell is everyone named Tony?"
Yeah, well,
I was like,
or
dude.
Anthony. That's my middle name. I mean, yeah, we all have our names, but no, for real.
Yeah.
Sarah, do me the favor of seriously YouTubing Rocky and Paulie's relationship. You just watch.
Maybe tomorrow,
because you know what?
When I forgive you, finally.
Oh, for the other thing.
Yeah, for the other thing.
That's not my
Not
fault.
my fault.
Rick knows
not
this.
Your
Rick, have
fault.
I not played that in like at least 3 or 4 shows?
At least 5 or 6 times.
Right. And is it my fault that she would not believe me? Like, I mean, what do you want me to, what am I supposed to do at that point?
That is
maybe stop.
Legit gold.
Legit gold. Oh,
that was like I hit 3 home runs feeling, and I hit the ball, and I'm like, holy fuck! I didn't just
hit the walk off.
I just hit. I'm out. Unbelievable. So all right. Next on the whole interviewing process, what you go there now? When you go there, do you bring some sort of recording equipment with you? Always.
We get media releases signed before we go, and we will always video and audio tape interviews because cut some of our best EVPs during the interviews when you're not even investigating yet. So
that makes sense. Like you should start recording the mini recording.
You want to document everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it all. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And you need to be able to then also will videotape the inside of the house, the entire perimeter, so you can see kind of where you would set up equipment. So you can then go back when you're reviewing the information they give you and sort of picture in your mind. I can say, okay, this happened. What's going on in that room where this happened? I can look at the video and I can say, oh, well,
Plus, you want to be able to talk.
Caused by this.
Yeah, you want to do that while the person isn't there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Initially, so you have it fresh and you can review it and be able to stop it. This might be causing this without them getting hurt, that it might not be a ghost.
Right. Honestly, ideally, you're interviewing them, but you're talking with them about the case as little as possible at this point. Because I'll tell you what happens after that, which is that everyone gets all excited that someone's interviewing their house, and all of a sudden they're calling you every day because all the neighbors are coming over, and then all of a sudden everything that happens to them in that home is paranormal in their minds. So you just try and keep it like low key and kind of calm. You don't want to give them any opinions yet about what you think it might be. Maybe in some cases, use your best judgment just a little to calm them down if you have to, like if they're really freaked out. But really, shouldn't be speaking with them too much other than the interview questions at this point.
So that's basically almost kind of how I handle the Sunday shows. Like I don't want to hear the guests say anything that's going to sway me before I start to talk to them. Basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great way of like. In other words, you want to feel someone out, Rick, right? You want to like let them speak. The more they speak, you listen. The more you figure them out. The more you speak, they listen. You're not figuring out shiznit.
Right.
Yeah, and you're also walking into the place basically blind. You know what I mean? So you want to get a baseline as to on everything. You know.
Yeah, but there's a lot of big egos in the paranormal world that just walk in, not listening.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they just start talking. Yeah,
dude. Let me tell you something. We know some paranormal investigators that go in without listening and just talking, and more power to them. I'm always like, you know what? Like I'm like Rocky with Paulie, Sarah. I'm one of those people that's like, I'm not gonna like turn my back on anyone, even if I disagree with them. But like, some people go in with the wrong reasons, in my opinion. What is it? IPO? No, whatever it is. But my point is, yeah, a lot of people go in for that reason. Just like see how everybody all freaked out on the previous show when I used the word provoked. But that's the actual definition. And then, Sarah, you had to stick up for and say that the definition doesn't always represent the word. And you know what? Yes, it does, because it's a definition. Of course it does. But I'm attached.
So you know how words can mean different things in different contexts. Do you agree?
Yeah, but we were talking about a definition.
Okay, but I'm saying what I was trying to explain that within the paranormal field,
words can have two meanings. I agree with that.
We're terrible at using words incorrectly.
You agree with that?
Words jargon. You know what I mean?
Jargon. Yeah.
Words can have two meanings.
Yes, but what Sarah's saying is you can sort of manipulate words if you use them over and over enough in the same way that you all sort of come up with this definition, which isn't the actual definition.
Right.
But it suits
like
your needs.
What was the word? What was the word that we didn't know what it was and Rick made it up? The definition, and we believed it forever. I gotta go back and watch that show.
I'll think of it in a second.
We're having a problem defining the word definition. No, I'm not having the problem. But you guys are right now arguing against the definition of the word definition. We're on the same page with that. Like we're
No, we know exactly what's going on.
It's the definition of.
We're good.
I feel like I'm in a bizarro world right now. I swear to you, right now. And if
you feel like you're in a bizarro world,
I get sucked in, I would totally believe it right now because I am discussing the definition of the word definition. Okay, Sarah, what's next on the interview?
Can I just discuss something ethical here for a moment? Because you actually managed in your rant to bring up a really good point.
Oh,
which is that yes.
Who knows?
Is that paranormal investigators walking into this place? Okay, so let's make it clear that no matter what level of experience you're at, no matter how much you've studied or read or how scientific or unscientific you're trying to be, the homeowners are looking to you as you are the expert. And especially if they're frightened, ethically, we should be very conscious of frightened people and not do anything to make them more frightened. So walking in the door as an expert, just, exclaiming that things are here is unhelpful. I just wanted to make what?
Rick, would you not agree? Would you not agree the problem with being a paranormal investigator is that there's people that can easily manipulate people that are in fear or any kind of worry.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
they're the people that want to go in without listening first and speaking. So
Absolutely.
meaning, right?
And that's a two-way street too, you know. You don't want a paranormal investigator who thinks they know everything either, because, you know, there's part of what we're doing and looking at is basically the unknowable. You know, it's phenomenon. It's thank you.
I'm not going to do it, but you brought up an incredible point. You never believe anyone that knows everything about something.
Of course, yeah.
Like anyone who says that to you, that's like another check off. Like, man, I'm like, no, like, or like in this whole world, like mediums, some that are like will tell you that like they're 100%. You know, they bat 1,000. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And I'll go to, dude. There's so many big name mediums that do like stadiums or do auditoriums and all that shiznit. And I will fight them to the death if they tell me that they're 1,000%. That's like almost against what they're doing. Like what they're tapping into. If you think that's 1,000%, like it's almost like are you like a god? Have you? What are you, Mars? Like what are you? Like, what do you mean 1,000%? So if they say that, my opinion, what do you think, Sarah? I walk away from them.
I absolutely agree. Like when I first started, one of the best pieces of advice I got would have been from Amy Bruni, and I spoke to her and she said, like, look, if anyone tells you that they know something for sure, you know, don't trust them. We're all figuring it out as we go. None of us, including me, you, anyone else, knows anything for sure. We haven't proven anything.
You're not doing the clients any favors by saying these answers that you don't know. I mean, why is this ghost here? You know.
But Rick,
you're guessing.
You don't know.
Don't you work like with somebody and they tell you, no, this is what it is.
I call those people the authority.
Yeah,
that's the authority. I usually give them a nickname or knowledge.
Why do they think that like, no, like, again, anybody who goes, no, this is what it is. Every time, someone who was not willing to go, all right, well, maybe that's what it is. You can't even trust as far as being if you can't take a joke, I guess, don't be a paranormal investigator. And that's like being humble. If you can't like take a hit and roll with it, like if you're so great,
100% certain on paranormal stuff, you get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, why do ghosts exist? You know, some people say you could say, well, you know, people believe that they're trapped. People believe that their time is unfinished here. People believe, you know, it could be all these things. But to say this is why, it's bullshit. You know what I mean? Because you don't, until we're on the other side, maybe visiting, you know, you're not going to know.
So your job when you're in someone's house is to help them alleviate whatever their problem is. That's your number one job. So the reason we don't accept payment as paranormal investigators is because the research is our payment. So your research and everything that you're doing is secondary to alleviating their discomfort. So walking in and saying anything during that first interview is just, it's not helpful. It's not helpful because you still have to, it's great. And you probably have, maybe you're talking about, I mean, the way that we were booking months out in advance. So I might go conduct an interview. I'm not coming back for 2 months. I'm going to declare to you that you have so-and-so in your house and I'm not coming back for 2 months to actually investigate.
There's a demon in the closet. I'll see you in a month.
See you later. Yeah.
We have to address the elephant in the room, though. And that's this.
What?
Out of 10 paranormal teams currently working right now in the United States of America, out of 10, how many, one, are not listening, those people? 2, doing it wrong. 3, just trying to say whatever makes the people feel better. How many out of 10 are those 3 types of people? I'm going to say, honestly,
9.
seriously, I almost feel like it's like a 70% that it's just
higher.
like, but that's what's all right. So that's what's wrong with the paranormal community.
Yeah.
Is that not everyone is this? Not everyone hears this. Not everyone can see this. Like I don't believe that everyone can. I don't. You know, when everyone says everyone has the ability to do something, everyone's a psychic, everyone's a medium at some point. I don't know. I don't believe that. I've met people that did no, not at all. That's not true. I think those are special abilities, and certain people have them, certain people don't. So I think certain paranormal investigating teams are out for the wrong reason, are doing it wrong, never been taught the right way, have gone by what they see on just TV. Like, man, God only knows. Like, I could just think of like the. So what I'm trying to say is like, how do you get the good ones? Like, how do you form the good ones? Like, there's got to be a way that they can get together and be honest with each other. Like, I wish someone would say to someone else, like, yeah, no, dude, stop it. Like with the whole you predicting stuff. Because right now it's no. It's just you just like, and you can tell someone's reading somebody for bullshit, you know?
Yeah, that's different though. The whole medium thing is supposed to going and investigating is
I mean everything. No, I mean the whole thing, dude.
Yeah, apples and oranges. But I think when it comes to the investigating part, the only way you're gonna get good, I mean, it's almost like with anything in life, is experience. You got to do it over and over and over again because if you're a new investigator, you're gonna go in. You're probably gonna be as excited as the client, right? You go in and it takes time. It takes going through situations over and over and over and over and over again.
The only problem with that theory is
what people before you have done. Read.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only problem with the theory of going with the team with the most experience is that they have a power to sway more so than any other team.
No, I was talking. The only way is as you're going to get good as an investigator is to put yourself in those situations.
Oh yeah, right. No, I would think that you guys have to put yourselves just out there in general, right? Like you're going to be an investigator, go investigate, and then come back and tell me what you found. Like I would think you guys have to, like I almost feel bad in a weird way. Like you both, like Rick, you get a call on Block Island, something's going on, or Sarah, you get a call and like FBI is like back in business and they're backed up and they need you, or say we need you to do something that's in Florida we just heard of. You guys would go.
Yeah,
of course.
There's the difference. See, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what's commendable. That's what I think it takes to be an investigator. You got to be willing to go. Like, Sarah, you never got one that scared you so much. You're like, oh, should we go do this one?
Yeah, I did. I did recently.
All right.
I did. And you know what, though? We actually, so 2 things. One, if you're going to be a paranormal investigator, think really long and hard before you want to do residences. Because when we're talking about interviews and we're talking about clients and we're talking about people's homes, especially if there's kids, elderly people in the homes, it's going to be a lot of contact. You know, it's all voluntary. I spend countless hours on the phone with people whose homes I may never even investigate. So you got to be in it. You can't be in it for your ego. It's just too much work. If you're going to do residence, you just can't be.
From the vetting process to the replaying of the audio and video over and over and over.
Yep.
Paranormal investigating is one of the most monotonous, like, in my opinion, no offense, I'm not downing, boring type things to do.
Yeah.
But like, I commend the people that can sit in there for that long on either part, the vetting or the editing, whatever you want to call that part. Like, you know what? The people that have to sit back and listen to the tapes, I feel bad for. I do.
Yeah,
that's the worst. It's got to be the worst.
But it's like hunting or fishing. You know what I mean?
That you're gonna be fishing. That's a good call.
99%. You know what I mean? Waiting, but you know when it happens,
you get that one thing. Yeah.
It's
I don't fish.
Coolest thing in the world.
But here, here's the other thing you have to know about residents is, a lot of times when something paranormal is going on in the home, it's because there's a lot of trauma, and it can be very emotionally taxing when you're hearing people's sad stories over and over again, and then you start to get to know them and you start to become attached to them, and you're listening to the things that are going on in their home, and they're scared, and then more and more stuff will start to come out about their trauma or things that happened to them. It becomes very, even if the spirit in the home or what's going on in the home doesn't end up being scary or paranormal, it becomes heavy just helping someone carry that weight.
On a personal level. Yeah.
Yeah, on a personal level, you get very personally involved. You get there's no way, if you've gone through the process of completely interviewing to where you're getting ready to go investigate, you're probably in contact with these people for several months now. You're in their home at least 2-3 times if you're doing a residence, because historical is different. When you're going into a home, you have to investigate with the homeowners there. You have to investigate without the homeowners there. You might have to go back a third time because you find something on a tape. You know these people. This is how I met Atkins Tumblers. I think we investigated them like maybe almost a year ago, and now we're friends because I spent so much time talking to them and in their house. So you're like, now if they call me and they say something's going on in the house and one of them's upset, like I feel like, oh, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So someone who listens would be more prone to making friends with someone, with the person that lives there, right? As opposed to someone who's just really trying to like sell them and see if they can get some sort of like flag.
Well, you got to be careful too, I would imagine.
Yeah, they're using them. Sorry, go ahead, Rick.
I was saying you got to sort of be careful too while getting attached. You still got to remain as objective as you can.
At that point, right? If you're a nice person in general,
I get it.
You're stuck. Like you're vested. There's that point of no return where you're invested in something and just I'm gonna see this through. I gotta, like Paulie would for Rocky in any of the Rocky movies, or vice versa. It's just one of those moments. I'm with that. So that's gotta be tougher. All right, so you go back. You must review everything you recorded on the first interview. Like the first home visit, you go back, you record everything, and see everything. If there's anything in the background, how much do you scrutinize? Like in other words, how much should you scrutinize? Because I'm convinced, and this is my theory on everything, if you look long enough, you'll find something. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that if you obsess over something long enough, you can make, in your opinion, something be there. Like, Rick, do you understand what I'm saying with the difference in that?
Absolutely. And like I was just trying to say, there's got to be some kind of some, not a wall, but you have to remain not part of that house. You have to be the investigator, not part of the family. So because you have to be able to tell them, no, this is you guys. It's not a ghost.
Yeah.
Or
which you think would be good news, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weird. That's the other weird part, right? Is that as an investigator, you can understand these people have now talked to you a couple times. You're coming out to their house with recording equipment. There's a part of them that wants something to happen that turns up just a little bit, I would think, upon your arrival. So
just a little bit.
Yeah. Like, how do you guys figure out if you're going into some place and someone's starting to play it up for you? Like, is the broader questions?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever gone into a place where people haven't, especially if they've been going through stuff for a while. You want it to be explained and you want it to be paranormal because it's an easy explanation for things that are just unexplained, that you can't explain. Like, it's just an easy scapegoat almost, I would say. Like, I'm having a really hard time in my life, and all these things, something here all the time, all these things started falling apart in my life because these things started happening in my house. We're scapegoating now the paranormal for just bad things happen in our lives. So if you can get rid of this ghost, it'll be all better, right? You know, and then you have to explain, well, you know, I doubt that has anything to do with it.
See how the word provoke is it's almost taboo in the world of paranormal. You can't really say it, right? We always dance around the fact that two serious things are paranormal events, like if something seriously is going on, and we figure that out, and then mental health.
Yep.
Someone's mental health is very important.
Yep.
But if you put those two together, I swear to you, it's like I'm saying a swear word, because no one wants to accept the fact that there's a connection there, a strong line of a connection, because it's seeing things, hearing things. It's this, it's that, it's this.
Yep.
Which the other side of that coin would be, mental health. So why? Tell me that then. Why is that? Is it just the mental health stigma?
Well, have you ever listened to any like Christian exorcists, like any interviews?
Yeah.
They'll tell you straight out that 99 out of 100 times when they go to these places, it's a mental health problem. You know what I mean? And there's that 1% that's unexplainable. So
yeah.
But that's different. A possession is different than a haunting or a
much different.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Haunting.
An apparition. Rick paid attention during class. But here's the thing: the Vatican will have professional mental health professionals come in, where we can recommend someone go to a mental health professional. But
Sarah, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Happy late birthday!
Happy birthday, JK.
Hey, JK. Related. Happy birthday, brother.
We're all mental, or we would not be chasing ghosts. So we cannot. This is a line I learned in sort of like paranormal ethics with Professor Auerbach, who will be on the show eventually on Legit Paranormal.
He's on. By the way, Rick, I booked Legit Paranormal out to April 14th, and I actually went after certain people first.
Good.
Lloyd will be on March 10th.
All right.
Awesome.
So Lloyd's sort of my role model and who I took classes from, and I try to follow the things that I learned from him. He's got a lot of really good books, but you cannot, and this is important, you cannot suggest as a paranormal investigator that someone is having a mental health issue. You can only say you have not found a paranormal explanation for what they are experiencing. We are not therapists. Don't do that. You're going to get yourself in all sorts of trouble.
Why?
Because we're not licensed therapists. We can't start giving. So
that's not therapy. In other words, he calls me over his next door neighbor, and I walk in and I go, Rick, there's nothing here. You batshit crazy guy. And I walk out. He's going to sue me?
You're walking into some. Well, they can't sue you. This is actually a whole other interesting topic that we've covered. In order to be sued in a court of law over something paranormal, you would first the court would have to accept that ghosts exist. So that
never mind catching a case. I'm asking. I can't tell a guy he's batshit crazy, Rick. If he's batshit crazy, you can't tell a guy that?
You cannot.
Yeah.
Why not?
You just say, hey, I don't know what's going on with you.
You're not a professional. You can't say if they're batshit crazy.
No.
Just say,
but you can't. No, I see what Mike said. I know what you're saying, Sarah. But
hey, guy, you're crazy. You're presenting yourself as a professional in their home in some capacity. I'm not more just professional in their home.
What's more professional than being honest?
Mike.
There's no ghost guy. You're fucking nuts.
What? if I'm being honest, what's more professional than that?
Look at
Tell me.
Terry's face.
If
James,
you
this
want
is
the
like-
honesty from me, if you want me to come in your house and be honest with you about something so serious, whatever I say is going to be honest. You can accept it or not. So if I tell you, let me tell you somebody, you're batshit crazy. I walk out.
Case solved.
What
He
he
hasn't been
said.
sued yet, though. Exactly. My point is, I'm gonna be honest. If you look, I'll be honest. I'm gonna tell. Look, if I'm Rick, I'm telling you this. If I'm gonna come in your house and I'm gonna tell you something there, dude, I will tell you now, Rick. I don't hear it. I think you're a little.
You have not been asked to do anything but assess whether or not there is an anomalous event that has occurred in their home. So if the cause is not paranormal and you have not found an environmental cause, then you might suggest that they seek medical attention.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, this is all weeded out in the interview process too. You know what I mean? So, right when you talk, the guy calls you up, Sarah. You know, I see I got a ghost in this corner. I got a ghost in this corner. I got a ghost in this corner. I levitated 4 times over here. You know what I mean?
But aren't the worst ones the ones with the real good stories that really
I was
believe
gonna
what they're
say.
saying?
So it's weird because I've had cases where I've gotten off the phone from the first phone interview and I've been like, nah, and you go there and you're like, oh, fuck, yeah. And then I've gotten ones where I'm like, oh, this is so interesting, blah, 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 blah. And you go there and it's just like, woohoo, woohoo, you know, so, and you're like, all right. So you can't always tell. You try your best. And the thing is about recording the first interviews and doing all those interviews is you're going to go there and you're going to ask the same questions again. And you're going to see if the story changes. And usually you can see where it's a story because I talked to you a month ago. I did a phone interview. Now I'm here to do an in-person interview. I'm going to ask you the same questions. You probably don't know what you told me because you didn't record it. And you can see if it, diverges.
Matches?
Yeah. Like if
He's
the story
trying to figure out
changes.
the person's a liar?
Yes.
Rick, is that's important? You would think you want to make sure that someone passes some sort of like a lie, like small.
Yeah, well, you want to you want to gauge everything, right? We're coming in this as my bullshit detector is pretty good.
Let me go to another hot topic.
Wait, but so Jonathan says real quick, that's why he does his work for free. He doesn't want the headache. I do my work for free too. And I have the headaches. But...
I think once you do the work, you're asking for the headache.
Yeah, know it's coming.
Unpaid, if they give you tickets for the beer.
If you
I love when I used to get the beer tickets for the beer. Never mind. What were we talking about? What show is this?
It's Paranormal 101.
Oh, yeah.
It's 1010.
What were you just saying?
What was I just saying? I was like, oh, well, you.
Welcome back, Mike.
Welcome back, Mike. So if you decide you're going to do residentials, you got to do all this interview stuff this doesn't normally happen at historical locations where you have to do all this. And it is a lot of work. So if you want to be altruistic, it's a great thing to do. Towards the end of what FBI was doing, we had said, oh, we got to cut back on residentials. Everyone's getting burnt out. And then everyone burnt out. So
what if I said that people that only do non-residentials that are like historic to the point of like everyone knows them, right?
Right.
If you go to a place like that and you try to get recordings, to me, that's similar to karaoke.
I see what you're saying.
It's like you're
Mike,
going to get.
It's still cool.
It's still cool.
Wait, right? You're right, but hold for a second. If it's a place that's so established where people pay to get in constantly, and they're looking for recordings of the same place that's been recorded for so long, you're proving what someone proved before you. Over and over, you're singing.
Yeah, but there's you know what I mean? We do clips, and clips are great. watching other people's stuff is great, but there is nothing better than seeing something or hearing something for yourself there. And you know what I mean? You're you know what I mean?
I'm with that, right?
Well,
But
listen.
wait, different experiences are each person. I get that, right? But one person wrote the song. What I'm trying to say
You're
is
not
like,
getting the same recordings, though, is what he's saying usually.
then I don't buy that even more. If there's a place that's historic and people have been going there for say like 40, then I really have a hard time.
Wait, guys. So if these are apparitions,
He
intelligent
just
ghosts,
was a guy.
In the same location.
The same location. So you're in your house, right? In your basement, the same location. Every time we see you.
Yeah, and I hear a different voice every night.
No, it's not a different voice, but you say different things. You say different things.
We just said they were all different. They've all heard different things. Like you just mean different sentences, or you mean different voices?
Different sentences. There might be different people. Like, so there's a misconception that ghosts are stuck in these places. First of all, like there's some indication that maybe they can travel around. And when investigators, my theory is, tend to the same place gets investigated over and over, we actually make it more haunted. So now we've got different things that might be coming in.
It's like a goulash now.
Yeah, and I also think some of it might be our energies that stay there. So yeah, it's going to be different. And there's nothing wrong with, by the way, just doing historical locations and just going, it's fun.
That's great. You know, what about the kids that we just had on the last show?
He's
the fact that they were calling them our clients, you know, I was like, oh, that's pretty, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I liked that. I liked that.
They've been there enough.
People to them.
Yeah, and they've been there enough where we're very protective of our clients, you know.
I'm not saying to disrespect the place or this, that, the other. I'm talking about there's some places that are so oversaturated.
Yeah.
That to go there and try to record something new it's like it's beating a dead horse. It's just come on, dude. No.
No, you're saying that from somebody who you know what I mean? Who doesn't do it? You know what I mean? That's like saying you don't go to the good fishing lake because other people go there.
The same because someone else caught a fish.
I don't know why I have a lot of fishing analogies tonight, but here we are.
So let's call it what it is at that point. It's can it be research? Yes. If you're actually graphing, if you're actually paying attention to trends, which is an issue in the paranormal field because no one wants to share their information, then it's research. Otherwise, it's recreation, and there is nothing wrong with that.
How about it's just personality traits? Because that's basically what it is. It's just difference of opinions, right? Like we're both investigators, but we both differ on that one point.
Yeah. And and it's going to be a totally different investigation because of what our beliefs might be. But again, the historical places, I find there's less pressure. So it can be a little bit more fun, a chance to just kind of connect with your team, practice your skills, relax. It's a good time.
And see a ghost if you can.
I got a ghost. You know, like that picture that guy from the clips, the tall apparition. That was so freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
So freaking cool.
I think I figured it out. I think my issue is like I like the TikToks or the YouTube videos of like people that are going into like
haunted house.
Yeah, like abandoned houses or like they found the sewer. Like I'm more into like I don't know. I want to find some. I really do. Like I like that whole finding a new place and it's dude. You got to come to this place. Like there's something fun about that. Where for me, I don't like museums to begin with. I don't like art galleries. Like I don't like to walk around and look at stuff that's not moving and be like, oh, because it's like it's the classic like, oh, there's a chair. Hey, I can't. To me, I guess it just again it's personality traits. Like my blood pressure wouldn't allow me. It doesn't allow me to do that. I can't do that stuff. That's too much. Like I have to just go.
Art bothers your blood pressure?
No, not really. I like art galleries, but I'm trying to make a point.
Art's
It's all of a
making me
point. I'm just trying to, and we're at the 1 hour mark. I'm just trying to make a point. Is all I was trying to do. So how could we sum up this past episode? So if we're going to go someplace to investigate, the vetting system is really in depth, and you kind of have to go with the old gut. And you have to go with intuition, and you have to go with actual due diligence. Do I have that in the ballpark, Professor Sarah?
Well said, Sir King Mike L.
Yeah, that's too many names. That's like Apollo.
That's too many names.
Yeah, Apollo Creed had way too many nicknames. Because it's almost close to Sin, Schrader, Hill, author. Like,
she's Cinnabons to me now. She'll always be
she's
Cinnabons.
one name away to being too much. Like
I just decided that, Rick.
4 or 5 names. Rick, what did you learn from this episode?
I liked it. I liked it all. The vetting process. I like how in depth Sarah goes.
That's a like. That's not. You didn't learn anything there. That's a like.
Well,
he just likes me. It's okay to just say I like Sarah. She's nice.
I learned Sarah's vetting techniques and how they could pertain to what I do, and how it might make me a better investigator listening to her techniques.
Aw, see, that's why I like Rick.
So you learned that a differing opinion could actually make more sense if you listen to it and incorporate it with what you're thinking.
Well, sure, always.
All right, that's another thing I think that's, and I'm just going to be the curmudgeon of paranormal for now. It's another thing lacking in the paranormal universe is humble. Being humble. Holy Christ! There's not a humble person in there. Just no one.
Saying I don't know is important. I don't know is important.
Yes.
Yep, gotta be able
to. You know what?
And I was wrong also because things change.
But first off, seriously, what he's saying there, I don't know, is I have a big theory that the people that I'm still friends with, like that I will always be friends with, are people that I've always said when they don't know, I don't know. Like, in other words, don't answer it if you don't know it. That's like, there's nothing worse than answering it when you don't know it. Just go, oh, I don't know. And if they go, what do you mean you don't know? Just be like, look, dude, I don't know. I don't know. Right? I don't know. But that's a life lesson. You have to accept criticism. You know what I mean? Unless it's like your my daughter, right? I have twins, 20 years old. So she's doing her college work at the table the other night, and I kept walking by her, and I would, like, with my fist, I would push her, right? Just to bust her chops. I'm listening to my headphones. I'm just pushing her. So I'm letting the dogs out. I'm going by her and pushing her every time. I go to let the dog out, walking out the door, and I kind of like felt somebody try to push me. It was a weird feeling. But then I turned, and she threw, Rick, I gotta tell you, about 4 or 5, like, pow, 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 as hard as she could in my arm, and I'm trying to block every one of them. And when she
they hurt at that age.
By like the 5th or 6th one, where it was starting to feel like it was gonna hurt, I'm like, enough. And she stopped. She laughed at me. I think she called me old fat man, is what her newest nickname for me is. And then she went in the house, and we both laughed. I thought it was hilarious. I really did. Like, she hits hard, but she's 5'3", 100 pounds. Like, only so hard she can hit. It's just, that's what's called science, Sarah. Rick, you got anything upcoming you want to talk about? Any OnlyFans, anything like that you want to, like, let everybody know about?
Well, I got the show next Thursday, and then I will be gone for a couple of weeks. It is that winter vacation that I look forward to all year. Taking my mom through the Panama Canal. It's going to be Colombia, Costa Rica. So I will be back after Christmas. And then in January, my new show is going to drop. It's called Dark Island. It's going to be like we were talking about the episodes of all the stuff on Block Island, that's what we're going to be doing. So,
Awesome.
yeah, that's what I got going on.
Hey,
Mikey,
by the way, JK just said something wrong. He actually said something that I could 100% say is a factually wrong. I don't mean to call JK out on this, but I mean, it's factually wrong. Mike can't believe Seattle's winning against the Cowboys, JK. Mike can believe Seattle's winning. The Cowboys. Mike can believe Seattle's winning. So, JK,
one other thing before you go.
I'm sorry. Yep, there's a shout out to you, but he was wrong. He's wrong.
Thanks, JK. Like and subscribe, guys, if you guys like the show.
Thank you, Rick.
It really helps us.
Good call.
We didn't do that at all tonight, basically.
By the way, highharvest.net. Highharvest.net. If you Facebook friend their group, it's better for deliveries, is what I found. I had a delivery tonight, right before the first show.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
It's been a phenomenal night on my end.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I know the whole. You know what? By the way, my favorite Muppet song that is underrated is "Moving Right Along."
Oh, so good.
That song, right?
So good.
Why has it never been covered by like two quality like rock stars? Because it's like it's got such a great moving right along in search of good times and good tunes. It's like the ultimate duo traveling song. And by the way, in the song, there is the line, and sadly, we just left Rhode Island. That's in the song. And sadly, we just left Rhode Island. We did what? Never mind. Move right along. Dig-a-doo, dig-a-doo. Dude, it's a great song. It should be covered by like, goddamn, that could have been a Chris Cornell, Eddie Vedder type thing. They would have rocked that shit. All right, so for Block Island, Rick, for Sarah Parah Normal. It's me, Michael Hubbard King. Mike, this was legit. Paranormal 101 brought to you by Legit. Podcast.com. Thank you for listening. We will be back on Monday night, right? Yeah, yes, I'm right. No, actually, no.
We're not doing Is It Legit on Monday?
At 11 a.m. we'll have Legit Fantasy Football brought to you by Legit Podcast.com. And then at 7:05 p.m. we'll have Legit Paranormal brought to you by Legit Podcast.com. Thank you for watching. We've had a great night of